I have gathered you all here today to talk about something incredibly stupid. We haven't talked a lot about, let's say, modern weapons. We're a history show. We try to stick to history. But occasionally I find something that's happening at the time of recording that honestly we just have to talk about because it is so thoroughly in our wheelhouse. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be talking about the modern British military on this show. We don't talk about them even less than we talk about other modern stuff, mostly because the British military hardly exists today because of budget cuts. And I should point out here, that's not a criticism. We've seen what you do if you're funded.
The British military just spends all their money now covering up shooting children in Northern Ireland in the 70s.
God. We still can't name that guy on the show.
It doesn't matter. I've named him publicly online. Who we can name is who is Agent Steakknife. It's Freddie Scappaticci. He's dead. You can't libel the dead.
No, but we'll fucking try. But in today's episode, we're going to be talking about a vehicle that's currently kind of in development by and for the British military. And it might be one of the biggest, strangest fuck ups that we've ever talked about that has, at the time of recording, not killed anybody. That asterisk is carrying some weight, as you will find out why.
I mean, when your competitors is like the VTOL and like the fucking Osprey, it's like, I can't imagine that you're gonna be a competitor, really.
Well, this would certainly kill people if it flew.
Yeah,
for sure.
Okay.
But it's the Ajax armored fighting vehicle is the topic of today's conversation. I would ask if either of you have ever heard of this.
No.
The answer is definitely no. Most people in general haven't heard about this. The British Ministry of Defense is doing their best to not talk about it as much as they can.
Here's the thing. I don't know anything about any vehicles. I've never had a driver's license. I don't. All I know is bicycle.
Good.
Just want to get that clear. Anything you tell me, I will believe about anything in this subject.
I am fully on board with you since I've moved to the Netherlands. I am fully bicycle pilled. I've been riding my bicycle in the snow as of late. It's fine. It's so much better. It's still good.
Oh yeah, pimp. God, have you slid out in the ice yet much?
No, actually, I've been okay. And they don't like salt or fix the roads at all here. They just, if the roads are frozen, you're just it's kill or be killed.
I asked that question like I have any fucking experience with that. I live in Texas. You might have heard there's about the big freeze here a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah,
where
yeah,
like the entire state shut down. That was like 2 inches of snow. The thing is just that that never happened, so there were no snow plows.
Yep.
I was stuck in my house for a week in like a level of snow that's normal anywhere north of the Mason-Dixon line.
I remember I lived in Texas for a very long time, in central Texas.
Yeah.
And whenever there was a slight frost on the ground, it was as if a nuclear bomb went off and everything shut down.
Yeah, that was the whole state in 2021. Unless you believe a taxi driver I had in Florida 3 years ago who told me that Joe Biden did it to punish Greg Abbott for letting people have guns.
I think I speak for everyone where I say I wish that was true. Like, I wish we could give like the liberal establishment all of the weather control weapons they think exist. Just to terrify them. I think it would be great. Like, give it to Joe Biden, whose brain is mostly mashed potatoes, and just let him go wild, you know?
We need to listen to our modern greatest minds, taxi drivers.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully, an Armenian will finally be in charge that way. So, for starters, for our non-armored vehicle heads out there, an armored fighting vehicle is not a tank. I have to say that. I feel like I'm contractually obligated, or the U.S. Army will take away my disability check. It's not an armored personnel carrier either. Think of it as a light attack scouting vehicle, or more accurately, for everybody at home who knows nothing about armored vehicles, it's a small tank with a small gun. Okay? In British military doctrine, they use it like the French, which is for something called screening. By screening, I mean using a unit, which is normally a small, fast-moving vehicle, lightly armed, lightly armored, to guard and act as an early warning system for the larger force doing the fighting. They're supposed to have enough firepower to slow down and delay an attacker, but they're not going to be digging in and slugging it out. At least they're not supposed to. And I promise these things will be important to this story. Otherwise, we would not be talking about them. I'm not here to lecture people about doctrine. That shit is boring. And for a long time, since the 1970s, the British relied on something called the Combat Vehicle Recon Tract. It's a family of vehicles. It's one body, multiple different turrets, specifically the Scorpion and the Scimitar variants. The Scorpion was the heavier of the two. It was labeled a light tank as it had a cannon. The two vehicles are meant to work together in their screening and recon roles. However, the Scorpion had something of a serious problem. This requires me to talk about tanks, kind of. I know that I don't really require much of an excuse to do that. Yeah. But as in any vehicle with a cannon or any large caliber weapon of which fires and then is inside a vehicle, right?
Oh no, I feel like I know what's going to happen.
So when a cannon goes off, it produces a large amount of toxic fumes. And as tank technology advanced, like when you picture a modern tank, rotate it slowly in your head, there's a big bulge on the cannon. That is called a bore evacuator. That helps displace the toxic fumes away from, the people inside the metal box so they don't have to breathe them. Otherwise, it will literally off-gas into the turret. For people who are following modern conflicts, if you sometimes see, you see this actually happen in Ukraine with Ukrainians and Russians, where they use very old vehicles sometimes, that the inside of the turret is quite smoky. That's because the bore evacuator is working like shit. I've actually been in a tank when this has happened.
Oh, fuck.
It feels awful, but this is not how it's supposed to be. Unless you designed a tank without a bore evacuator.
Oh.
Which is what the British did.
Oh, fuck.
I was going to say, maybe this is what the guy who shot Charlie Kirk when he wrote, "Ooh, notices bulge on the bullet."
That's exactly, yeah. Everybody notices how big my bore evacuator is.
I was just thinking about, sorry to be doing prop comedy on a audio podcast, but I was just looking at the bear mace can I have and thinking so it's just like putting on my bicycle helmet or putting on a motorcycle helmet and then just spraying this directly into my face.
Similar, yeah. I mean, I've caught some nasty fumes from the Abrams main gun going off because the bore evacuator is malfunctioning, and it definitely didn't feel good. I also wear contact lenses, so it feels extra bad.
Yeah.
Made my lungs kind of feel like I smoked a pack of cigarettes in quick succession.
Oh God, I'm thinking about a personal defense weapon, just a mace holder that is a motorcycle helmet that just the mace is directly in the middle of.
Yeah, we should sell that.
Yeah. Again, doing prop comedy on an audio show.
And generally speaking, even with vehicles with maybe broken or malfunctioning bore evacuators, some vehicles don't have a bore evacuator you can see, but they have some kind of fume evacuation system. The Scorpion did not. This led to crews getting violently ill. And just to underline how stupid this is, people have been installing these in tanks since the late 40s. The British just decided that they were built different. And it turns out, in fact, they were not. An order comes down, stop using the cannon, which in turn leads to the Scorpion being withdrawn from service, leaving the Scimitar as the last variant standing for the role. The Scimitar, like most armored fighting vehicles you're probably thinking of in your mind, again, rotating them slowly, is armed with a 30mm cannon and a different turret. It also happens to be able to vent toxic fumes. So they only forgot to do this on 50% of their variants. But like I already kind of said, this vehicle hit the line in 1971. So over time, the British attempted several different programs to upgrade or replace them. A real shot at replacing them came in the 90s. This thing is already old in a joint American-British program called the Tracer. This gets kicked around for the better part of a decade. It gets canceled in 2001. And for the Brits, this turns into something called the Future Rapid Effect System. This was a program to come up with their own replacement for the canceled proposed joint vehicle. And they come up with this idea that we need a utility vehicle and a specialized vehicle. The specialized one is going to do the screening idea we're talking about. It's going to be the attack recon thing. Again, this goes on for years. Eventually, they select something called the Piranha V by General Dynamics for the utility vehicle. It's also going to be used as a specialized vehicle. This goes on for another almost 10 years until 2008. It gets canceled. The Ministry of Defense changes their mind that there wouldn't be two different vehicles going forward owing to budget cuts. So they need to come up with a modular chassis.